that now? What ain't? That's a bad chick. What ain't? Shorty bite. What ain't? That's a bad chick. What ain't? Shorty bite. What ain't? That's a bad chick. What ain't? What ain't? That's a bad chick. What ain't? Look at shorty bite. What's that now? What ain't? That's a bad chick. What ain't? Shorty bite. What ain't? That's a bad chick.
Source of health, business, and entertainment. Welcome, welcome, welcome. First, today I want to talk about the book of the month. I haven't had a chance to finish the book, the whole book, but it's very interesting. And it's called How to Come Back from Relationship Setbacks. And the book is for singles and couples. So it might be an interesting book, especially if you're single, or if you're a couple and you're going through some changes. This might be something interesting to read for the month. However, I want to welcome you all again. It has been 2 months since I taped this show. So I'm going to say it again. Welcome. I want to introduce my special guest today. This story we'll be talking about today, it made worldwide news. It's a very touching story, and I really appreciate my guests taking our time today to come out and have enough courage to talk about it at this time, because this just happened. It's been only 4 months now. Yeah, 3 months. So let's get right to it. I want to introduce my special guest. Her name is Chantel. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Brown.
How you doing,
I want to
Queen?
welcome. How are you today?
I'm doing fine.
All right, you're looking great.
Thank you.
Great.
I tried.
Yeah, you really.
Thank you.
You're looking good, especially considering all the stuff that you have been through these last 3 or 4 months. I keep saying 4 months, but it's really only been like 3, right?
Yeah, it made 3 this month.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of going into the 4th month, but it's a devastating situation, so it seems like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Over and over in my mind, I just replay that very last day.
Yeah.
The last couple days.
Yeah, and the violence and the crime today in Chicago. Your story was, it was just very touching. Because not only did we go to school together, it was just such a touching story. And some of the things that I was hearing and seeing in the papers, and we'll get a little more to that. But let's talk about your 17-year-old that you lost 3 months ago.
My daughter Jakyra, she was a special child. I could tell you that much. It's a lot of things that's being said and wrote and Instagrammed and Twitter and Facebook about her, just off of somebody knowing her through the street life. Mm-hmm. I'm her mother, so believe me when I say I knew her best. Mm-hmm. And through all the rumors and the back and forth, whatever's going on, the Facebook beef and the Twitter beef and the Instagram beef, and I know about all of that. So, I don't let stuff like that bother me, but these kids, like my daughter, her friends, these teenagers, that type of stuff bothers them. Mm-hmm. As adults, we can handle you calling me names or you saying something about one of my friends or family members or even doing something, but when it come down to these kids, they can't handle that. They get on Facebook, they argue back and forth.
Yeah,
they get on Instagram.
It's been a lot of killings behind that.
Yeah,
too.
put on, and then sometimes you think Facebook's so good, I can connect, and then really, it's really like a death trap to a lot of people because images and things are being put out there and portrayed like a person's life is one way, and it's really not. Even for some of these older adult men and women, you know.
So let me ask you, do you think that this happened, do you think that this stemmed from maybe a lot of the Facebook back and forth and the Twitter and stuff like that? Do you think that a lot of this come from that?
Well, I'll say maybe 60% of it is internet, you know, backed up by internet, things going on in the internet. Now maybe the other 40%, that's something that just originated in Chicago streets, something that we deal with every day. Gang violence, gun violence, you know, and stuff like that. But I don't want to blame Facebook or any other social media sites for my daughter's death, because I know.
Well, I'm going to say this. Some of the stuff that I have seen on YouTube, and this coming straight from the heart, it's no way that YouTube should allow some of the stuff that I have seen from teenagers and some of the younger children. It's no way that they should even be allowed to let that type of stuff air. And that's just how I feel about it.
And that's the same way I feel about it too, like Facebook, you know, it's people on there butt naked doing videos and performing oral sex and all kind of stuff, you know, but this the world we live in. Who gonna shut it down? You know, internet, we live in the internet times now, computer times. Everything is type it in, Google it, look it up, you know, so who's gonna shut it down?
So Chantel, let's talk about, because your daughter was gunned down in April.
Yes.
On 64th and Eberhard.
Yes.
And this made world news. And I mean, it even made the front page of the paper, 2 months after?
2 months after her death.
So let's talk a little bit about what happened that day of.
Well, I know that day it was another young man's birthday who recently had been also gunned down over a year ago. So what some of these kids do on these, you know, some of their friends' birthday, they celebrate. You know, they want to live on, they want to live through, or, you know, and just so happened on this particular day of this young man's birthday, you know, it was, you know, a barbecue was being thrown, people were hanging out on the block, you know, in honor for, you know, the young man's name was Trail, so, you know, they were kind of out having like Trail Day, you know, that's it's a lot of days they have out here for these kids because they lost a lot of them. So, hey, it might be Joe Day, Mo Day, Flo Day, you know, it's a day.
We're losing so many of our children.
So many, so fast for no reason. And, you know, she was being her, hanging out with her friends, you know.
Oh, so she wasn't by herself?
No, she wasn't by herself. She was with a lot of her good friends out there at the time that this happened, that Friday afternoon at about 3 p.m.
Okay.
Like I said, they were hanging out for this young man's birthday, so somebody was getting some barbecue, you know, getting the grill started to barbecue. You know, they probably was hanging out, listening to some music, you know. I heard it was over 20 people on the scene, and when I got there, it was still over 20 plus people on the scene who had been informing me of exactly what happened. But about 3:30 in the afternoon, she had just left from home at about 1:30, so it was really less than 2 hours later. I had just got a phone call of one of her friends, you know, saying, come right away, she's been hurt.
So is this somewhere that she would hang out on a regular basis?
Yeah, actually, that's the neighborhood where I grew up in. I was born and raised on those same streets.
Yeah.
My grandmother lives over there. She's owned her house over there for almost 50 years. I was born and raised in that house. And my kids came up in that house and in that neighborhood. We moved away, but hey, no place like home. Home is where your heart is. Where you gonna go? Back to your neighborhood. I don't care if you live in Beverly Hills. You going back to Crenshaw Boulevard where you was born and raised. So, you know, that was somewhere she, frequently went. You know, it wasn't like what's she doing over here, you know, or nothing like that. It was where is she at? She's not around here. She hasn't came outside. You know, so like I said, a lot of people over there, they raised and changed her diapers. Raised and changed my diapers as well. So these the same streets that I've been walking all my life, you know, and it wasn't nothing strange or, you know, for her to not be over there. Even the people that was out there with her, you know, those were people that lived over there and knew me, knew her, knew my family.
So did the people, they drove in a car or they walked up, or because I'm asking because I know you wasn't actually out there.
I wasn't actually out there.
It was so many different stories in the news.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Well, Miss Queen, I wasn't actually out there, and you know, you are going to hear a lot of different stories. I don't want to really touch bases and pinpoint exactly what happened because it is an ongoing investigation.
Okay.
But, you know, I was told that the gunman was on foot, leaving the vehicle after he was reported shot, and he went back to the vehicle. So, you know, I don't know the full details of it. You know, if I did, I really couldn't say. But, you know, so a lot of people told me that even an older gentleman who I went to school with, grew up with, he has no reason to lie to me. You know, just even said the gunman said, "Hey, move out of the way," and he just started spraying. You know, and
so by the time you got there, when you got over there, and you knew that it was your child.
Before I got there, I knew. It wasn't no mistake. You know, everybody on 64th and Eberhard, Vernon, St. Lawrence, Rose, they wasn't calling my phone saying it might be a prank. You know, I knew. Once I got the first phone call that informed me that my daughter had been shot, the phone kept ringing.
Your 17-year-old daughter.
My 17-year-old daughter. And
so in the paper, and I keep going back because again, I heard and seen so many different stories, and that's why I wanted you to actually come on the show today, so you can tell us your side. But you went through losing your child, getting shot several times, and then you had to go through the funeral. And I'm first of all, I have to applaud you because your strength is outstanding. It's just so amazing that I just, and I think I told you that before, I don't know, you know, and I know it's all within God's strength, giving you that strength to keep moving.
Yes.
But let's talk about the stories, because in the paper it was she was a hit man. Let's go there. It was just so many, and that's when you were talking about the Facebook and the Twitter, and you know they have in this inside paper, oh, here's the picture where she was a hitter. Now let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, I've heard those rumors as well. You know, I'm not here to confirm or deny anything. But what I can say is what I was saying about the social media thing. And I would tell my daughter all the time, I tell my kids, stop putting those pictures out there like that, portraying that type of image. Because if something happens to you, they're not going to come to me and ask me anything. They're going to go to the social network site and dig up everything that they can dig up. Put it out there and then say, well, Mom, do you have something to say? Obviously I did, but you all took it up on yourself to put what you want to put. I've never gave...
So you were saying basically that a lot of those pictures, because it was a lot of them, and you know...
Now those pictures, They are on her Facebook page. They are on her Twitter page.
But what I'm saying
they are on her Instagram.
Right, but what I'm saying is basically what you're saying is that they use those against her.
Yes.
Because she's not basically the only kid that
does that.
You see that do that.
Yes.
I have to agree with you on that.
Yes, I see it all day, every day, going down my timeline.
I have to agree with you on it.
Yeah.
So now we clearing that up. We clearing that up.
Yes.
You basically, a lot of this, you know, that the news, the media was saying, oh well, she was a hitman because she had these pictures of guns.
Okay, and let me. So let me start with this. Okay, I know what was on YouTube. About these supposed bodies, you know.
I missed that one. There was so many of them. I got tired of looking.
What was it? The paper, obviously, more things here and there. But if she was now all of this submerges once she's gone. But if she was such a hitman, an assassinator, honestly, I've been working with Area 3 detectives in my home for the past 3 years. With my daughter, with my sons. Not one time did no one come to me and say, your daughter is a suspect, or she's a hitman, or she's involved, or we need to question her, or we need to search your home for guns. Not one time since 2011. But now that she's gone, all of this submerges. They know, whoever's putting this stuff out here, they know more than me and the police. You know, so, but I want to say, what I'm here to say today is, if everyone knew this, obviously except her mother, you know, because I'm supposed to be blind to the fact, which I'm not, why was she never detained? She's a 17-year-old young lady who people are now saying that she was a assassin. That's not a pretty name for a young lady.
Not a 17-year-old. It's very hard to believe.
Not my baby girl. But see, once you put that label next to that picture, I can see how all that can, you know, come about. You put that next to one picture.
So the pictures and the YouTube stuff, you had no idea until after.
Oh no. I was aware of the pictures. I'm her Facebook friend. I got her Twitter logged into my phone, so I'm seeing the pictures.
So did you ever say, don't be taking pictures
with guns? What the HELLL is you doing? I'm a FUC. Bleep you up, and you know, and anybody know me. I keep a foot in my kids' behind, period. If you 1 or if you 21. I'm your mother, you gonna respect me, you don't like it, bad. But I had no problem with my daughter. When it came down to me and other adults, my daughter is very respectful. My daughter's not gonna get out of line with nobody. But one thing I can say, when she was in them streets, I can't tell you who she was. When I was a teenager and I went outside, I became a whole nother person. I was little boo-boo, little Chantel for my grandma and my mama, yeah. But when I got outside, I was Miss Thing. You couldn't tell me nothing, you know. But even after the fact that I know when she gets out here and she has to portray this role or act like this tough girl or whatever it is she got to do, when she come home, I'm still talking to her as if she's mama's baby, saying, how's things today? Well, you know, what's going on today? Or, you know, and so take that picture down. Take it down now. You know, I seen that earlier, and get that off of your page. You know, I'm coming at her like that. You know, I'm not sweeping it under the rug. I done chased my kids in cars before.
And being 17, most of them are going through that teenage
rebellious stage.
Yeah.
I had to go through that myself, so now I know exactly what it is, the rebellious stage.
So what about the friends, the people that she kind of ran with? And because I seen where they were saying that she was tomboyish, and so, you know, I'm just...
Well, she was a little tomboyish, you know. I didn't, you know, judge the way she wanted, you know, her sexuality or what, you know, that's my daughter, regardless. Whether they seen her as a sir,
so it was
mister.
more of a sexuality changed and
Yeah, just kind of.
tomboyish.
I told her you're trying to find yourself, you know.
They
but
all-
you know, because
they go through
when you're
that.
teenagers and even older, you go through things, and you know sometimes. But you know what? Regardless of whatever she wanted to be or do or how she wanted to live her life, I'ma support my baby 100%. You could be blind, crippled, and crazy.
But be the best at whatever it is.
Whatever
you
it
decide
is,
to
be
do.
the best blind person you could be, the best crippled person you could be, you know. And I was, you know, just trying to, after I seen that she did want to be a tomboy, she didn't want to be my princess, I let her have that. You know, I can't fight against you saying, take off those Timberlands, put on some 6-inch heels and put on this. 8th grade graduation, she looked like a princess, but you best believe when we got home, oh no, it's jeans, Tim's shirt. She couldn't wait to flap out of them clothes. That's the point where I knew, I said, I don't have a princess.
So she went to Perspective.
Yes.
And it was even something in the paper saying that she didn't finish. And I'm looking at the graduation picture.
Right, she graduated from Perspective.
But she went into high school.
Right. Charter
right.
Perspective is
Yeah.
it goes up to
I know.
12th grade. So after she did the 8th grade graduation,
Beautiful picture.
she was to
Really
continue
nice
on. She went into freshman year. First half of freshman year, she dropped out. Started being more involved in the streets. She's very smart. I have trophies, certificates. She was an honor roll student, very bright student. She went to Charter Perspective Math and Science Academy, IIT. That's a good school. And, you know, I seen her kind of not wanting to go to school anymore, want to hang out more, do a little less homework,
And so
want
how
to
did you
stay out
deal
a
with
little
that?
later. You know, punishments came, take phone away, that type of stuff came. No company, no nothing. You're going to sit here and look at me. You know, we going to talk. What's the problem, you know? But, you know, as you go on and it's like this battle, you're battling back and forth with this rebellious stage, you know, to a point you almost give up. You almost, you know, and you say, God, you know, help me,
You
help
have
me.
to keep asking for
Yeah,
strength.
help me for the strength to fight this demon. I call it a little demon.
Did you
know,
feel,
sometimes.
Did you feel like something, because we all have that mother intuition and I mean, even in our marriages, our relationships, we have that woman intuition. Did you feel like something?
Well, actually, like, I want to say like the last week.
Yeah, I know it's hard. I know.
Like the final week of her life, you know, each day I was seeing something in her that I hadn't been seeing.
Okay.
You know, and I would ask her, what's wrong? You know, you look like you lost your best friend. Even though during that time, she did lose a friend. Rashawn Shaw, he was gunned down by the police just a week before.
And that was a friend of hers.
Yes, a close family friend. They grew up together, you know, from babies. You know, his mother had just buried him on that Tuesday before the Friday of my daughter. And she went to his funeral. And even the days before and even from the funeral up until that Friday, you know, I seen something in my baby's eyes. You know, I can't explain what it was, but it was just this look, like her soul was leaving before she was actually gone. And you know, I would talk to her every day and night, and you know, the night before she came in, you know, we talked, laughed. You know, she got up that day. You know, I was doing something with my younger children, and before she left me that afternoon, my final time seeing her, as I'm watching her walk away, you know, I didn't know then, but I know now, no, it was the Holy Ghost coming over me. But the Lord, he informed me that was gonna be that would have been the last time seeing her alive. And then 2 hours later, when I got the phone call, I just knew. I just knew, because when I felt that feeling before she left, you know, I told her, I love you, you know, gave her a kiss, hug. Don't be standing outside. Main thing, don't be standing outside in no corners, on no porches, in no crowds, with no people, with no, you know. And
so you kind of knew the people that she ran with, but you didn't think it was as bad as this big thing that they made it out to be afterwards. It
really wasn't the people that she ran with. It's just like the community that we live in.
That's everywhere.
Everywhere. So where can I say not? You know, it's like, that's just like, me and you don't have to be running with no bad people. But we can go somewhere and we might not come home because
it happens
some ignorant fool gonna take it amongst himself to be judge, jury, and executioner. Now, you know, I heard rumors, you know, just like the stuff in the paper saying my daughter's responsible for this and that. So if they knew this, then why they never tried to arrest her?
Or why no one came and said
anything? The police didn't say anything to me. Area 3 Gang Tactical Unit, I have their numbers on speed dial. Personal people I call, because when I'm having problems with my kid, I will step in and get some authority from anywhere.
If I have to send to them and hold him down for a few days.
River Edge, Heart Grove, what we got to take them? Let's go. Get it together, because we can't do this.
Because they also said, the police saw her in the alley or something. And they spoke to her, and it was something about a T-shirt she had on.
It's just a lot of stuff surrounding it.
And I'm just saying, you had no idea that this type of stuff, no one actually came to you and said, Chantel or Miss Brown, your daughter is out here doing this, your daughter's out there, you know, and that kind of pisses me off. You know why? Because
but I'm going to tell you one thing, Queen.
Our people told on us.
Let me tell you one thing, Queen. Our people, my peers, and the people, they kept me informed. What I didn't see with my own eyes or hear through the streets, I got people to keep me informed. But the people who could help me or change it or stop it, they didn't say nothing. They don't want to be involved. But then here's an article, which I'm glad is out. All this stuff that's coming out, I'm very happy that it's coming out. So now maybe we can get to the bottom of this here issue. Now, a police, you see her in the alley in rival gang territory. What's she doing in the alley? Come on now.
Put her in the car, take her home.
Or did you drop her off in that same alley in order for the rival gangs
to
bother her?
Were you aware? Did someone tell you that?
I was aware.
So did you talk to her about that? Did you say?
I talked to her about it. We had a conversation. You know, she had been being harassed. You know, we had a conversation about that. You know, and I told her I was pushing forward with that because I don't care how they see you with their eyes, the police, the streets, men and women. You are a 17-year-old young lady.
So
you're not a thug.
Do you think
you're not a guy?
She was being somewhat pushed, or somebody in her ear, or was it about
I
money?
Wouldn't say really
somebody
like
giving her?
It was like a like push or in an ear type of thing.
I'm asking that because they had pictures. Again, I keep talking about all these crazy pictures, but it was pictures where she had money and looked like $100 bills. So I'm just, you know, the streets take our kids.
And
they take our children.
And let me tell you one thing about that, Queen. That's why I say these pictures. I can see you could get paid, Queen, And I could say, let me hold your paycheck. Let me take a picture with your money. And I spread out $1,000.
And this picture, this picture, they, I mean, this was one of the cleaner pictures. I didn't want to use, I mean, I just don't see where it was nothing so different from what I see other kids post. You see what I'm saying? I just don't, you know. And that's why I'm asking, was it some way that, you know, somebody was coaching her, or she felt like she needed to be with a certain crowd to do certain stuff?
And I'm going to just give it to you in all honesty. It wasn't a coach thing. It was probably pretty much of a growing up around this type of environment thing, fast life, fast money. But at the same time, you getting a heart of stone because you watching the kids and the friends and the loved ones that you went to school with, grew up with, had sleepovers with, die every single month for the last 3 years. So if it was something, you know, like as far as like I would say, that made her just say, well, hey, I'm going to be about this life. It was the death of many of her friends and loved ones. You know, when you...
So speaking of that, we were talking about her friend that she lost the week before. Now, was he gunned down in that community
in the
as well?
same area? Less than
that's
2 blocks.
Inglewood. I
Less than 2 blocks.
I'm saying
it's Inglewood / Woodlawn / you know, 63rd Street. You know, Cottage to King Drive.
So was
From the
she
park to
accused
69.
of?
With him?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
This had nothing. She was nowhere around. This had nothing to do. This is a whole nother isolated incident. You know, just something that happened early one morning. You know, whatever that situation is, you know, I don't know all the details of it.
Right, exactly.
But I can tell you that made national news as well.
Right.
Teenager, 19-year-old Rashawn Shaw gunned down by the police. You know, shot 7 times, you know, 62nd and Rose. You know, it was a riot out there, you know. And just to speak up on that, you know, because I don't want to too much talk about no one else's child, you know. But Area 3 Gang Tactical called me and said, can you get your daughter? Because when that happened with the young man, all of his friends and family want to go crazy on the police. Right. You know, so then they want to contact me and say, can you get your daughter? She's out here helping with the riot with the police. You know, they made it seem like to me, even though I talk to these people on a regular basis, but they was trying to make it seem like to me at that time, the week before, that if my daughter told a crowd, riot against the police, the crowd is going to riot. That was not, my daughter did not have that type of power. I seen on Yahoo where I Googled her, and they had her and said she was a gang lord. A gang lord is supposed to be protected. You can't get up on no gang lord and shoot them. So, but that's a hierarchy.
You knew that she, and if anybody know about the gang, because her father was a leader, right? Because
he wasn't a leader. He just was killed the same way.
Because they had that in the paper. You know what
right,
I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. They putting stuff that's not even true. It's not even true. Her father was not a gang leader. But her father was gunned down in the streets of Chicago on Easter Sunday, 1997, shot in the head with an AK-47. Brains blew right out in front of his house, 79th and Avalon, you know, but it's like I couldn't, you know, the same shock I had then, I got 17 years later. You know, because two people decided to take it amongst themselves and be judge, jury, and executioner. You know, and I feel this way. Whatever kind of life she was living, whatever they want to say, say whatever. It don't even matter to me no more. That don't give nobody no right to gun my baby down. I'm not finna stand here and sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about
I'm not sweeping
some
that
of the
under the rug.
things that you are planning to do, and some of the things that's in play now because of this happening. We're going to go to commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to oh my goodness, finish speaking with Chantel and talk about some of the things that you have in play because your 17-year-old was gunned down in the streets of Chicago. We'll be right back.
International Detective and Protective Services, 1-773-675-8506. Over 20 years of armed security experience. The very best in shopping mall security, inventory watch, find missing loved ones, investigative open legal cases, community policing. Are you taking a vacation this summer? For peace of mind, you need our house watch service, cheetah surveillance, and much more. International Detective and Protective Services, 1-773-675-8506. That's 1-773-675-8506. Call now.
Excuse me, what time are you guys leaving? We're gonna rob your house tonight.
Don't come closer. I have rabies.
Don't you wish there were warnings to protect you from life's risks? With diabetes, there is one. It's called A1C, a simple blood test that helps measure your risk of serious complications. Learn more at diabetesaonc.org.
Golden's Tropical World. Come to Golden's Tropical World for tropical fish of all sizes, colors, and types, and other small animals like iguanas and birds from all over the world. There are beautiful tanks, pet supply needs, including dog and cat foods, and expert consultation. Check out Golden's Tropical World, 8611 South Ashland Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. Call ahead, 773-239-8880.
Hi, I'm Dorothy Brown, Clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County, and you are now watching Full Circle television show with your host, Queen.
International Detective and Protective
And once
Service.
again, we're talking with Chantel Brown. Her daughter was gunned down in Chicago streets, and we have her on today actually telling her side of the story. And I want to thank you again because I know, first of all, this is not easy, but I just appreciate you sharing this story. The story made worldwide and nationwide, you know, and it was just so amazing how 2 months after she made the front page paper and all these different stories. So I was just appreciate that you come out and actually tell what you knew, you know.
I appreciate you for having me, Queen.
Yeah, and I have to give it to you again because you are definitely one of those strong black women that has lost. And I don't know if I would even be able to get up, and I'm sure you have those days, but it's only God walking with you, you know.
It's only Him. He putting the breath in my body, so I gotta keep trying to do, you know, work towards doing His will. You know, nobody's perfect, so.
Right.
But
so what are your initial plans? Because we have a lot of parents that has lost their children. What are your initial plans from here, seeing that this happened to your child?
Well, because even a lot of young ladies that I went to grammar school with, grew up with, they've lost their children as well, you know, different ways, you know, of violence. But I'm reaching out to all the mothers, you know. I'm trying to start a Million Mom March. You know, anybody that lost a child, it doesn't matter how you lost them. You know, if it was an accident, if it was, you know, something intentionally done, or, you know, I lost my child, so I feel that, I can honestly say I feel their pain, you know. You know, and it's just, you know, it's something that needs to be done. And I'm not the type of person, I don't have a platform, you know. Maybe this can start right here on Queen's show to be my platform, you know, to, because honestly, this situation with the Chicago violence and the gangs and the guns, you know, it has to come to a halt. It has to, because we're going to be a lot of dead people out here. You know, babies, you know, it ain't discriminating now. Babies die, 4-month-old, 6-month-old, 10-year-old. You can't even go to your friend's house and party because bullets might get to flying, you know. And it's just like, I got to get something started. You know, my goal is to be a registered nurse. But I said, if I had to put that on hold, just to get something started in honor of my baby, so that her death is not in vain. Because I know with her, and I've seen it, it's not going to stop. She's not the last, she's not the first. You know, but it's sad to say, because nobody should lose a child like that. No, period. But just being gunned down, you know. And then the weekend my baby was, you know, 35 people shot that weekend. Following weekend, Easter Sunday, 45 people or more. This past 4th of July weekend, must I speak on? 85 plus people shot in Chicago, one of the beautifulest cities in the world.
And this is also making national news. I was in Los Angeles, and people I was talking to that live there was talking about the violence in Chicago. You know?
And look, that's LA. I remember when I used to watch Watts on TV going with the helicopters. Now, Chicago, you hear boom, 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 police, fire truck, helicopters. You know, ambulance. You know, now it's like we living in Watts. And I'm not understanding that, because a lot of people pay a lot of money to live here. You know, we spend a lot of money in our city. We support our communities and our businesses and our schools and our parks and our this and that. You know, why we got to be scared to leave out the house? Because we might not come back.
Or be scared to go to a club. I mean, you can't
can't
even
go party, you know,
inside.
enjoy yourself. You know, even as older women, we can't do that, you know. And then it's getting to the point now.
Drive the expressway. Look at the young lady that was
on the expressway. And
riding on the expressway.
And now it's like, really, you can't be in the house because something might come through the house, you know, whatever. But, you know, I feel like God coming to take his world back one day, soon, whether they believe it or not. You know, call me a hypocrite, call me or whatever. But I believe in that man, and nobody can tell me no different. You know, like you say, this is the strength he's given me to stay strong. I've been going strong since my baby been gone. I have my days. Yeah, but I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight, and I ain't got to put my hands up, and I ain't got to get no guns.
So what would you say to the gangs that's out there now that has lost their close friends and has lost their family members to the streets like that? What would you say? What could you possibly say? Because I ask people when we talk about violence, what is it that we can go on the street and say to some of these children, to some of these teenagers, to stop?
And you know, all we could really do is, you know, talk to them, preach to them about it, and pray for them. You know, I see where Corey Brooks got the sisters and the brothers on the corner, you know, every night or Friday nights, you know, whatever, for, you know, to keep some of this stuff down. And that's great. That's great. But when is it going to end? I've been to Father Flagler Church and marched on St. Sabina and, you know, for these victims. And before this happened to my daughter, I've been fighting. Because I know it could be anybody's child. It's not just my daughter. It's everybody's child. You know, everybody's seed, you know. So But I'm trying to figure out, when is it actually going to stop? Now, back in the day, I feel the gangs had some order.
Right, it's no order anymore.
Right now, it's no order. Every man for themselves. You know, so it's like everybody got to carry a gun. Now they want to bring conceal and carry to Chicago.
And what about the marijuana now? They have all type of different stuff that they putting in it, and the kids are smoking that.
Popping
it's
them
totally
mollies.
different from when we were coming.
Hey,
you know,
it's
different.
You know, they popping them mollies and drinking that lean and that marijuana kush and blue and purple, and hey, it's messing them up. It's messing them up. You know, they doing it young, over a long period of time, and your brain hasn't even developed at 21. You know, and they start early, teens, 13, 12, 14, you know, and it's no good for them. It's no good for them. But what I will tell the gangs and the teens, even if you lost someone, don't go out there and do street justice. Don't try to get revenge. Violence is never the answer. I know it hurt. You know, nobody wants to see their friend or their brother or their mother or anybody laying there. You know.
I know that had to been hard. Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? You know, so, you know, just live on for that person. Don't die with them. I can't lay down and die because my baby girl gone. I got to live for 4 other kids. That's easy for me to lay down and die. That's so easy.
So do you fear now that this has happened, it has touched home base, it's real life, do you fear your other kids?
Yeah, and I've always had that fear for my children. Anyway, I've left Chicago for a numerous amount of time, numerous time for numerous years, and I always found myself coming back to Chicago. You know, and this is one of them times when I think, shouldn't have came back. But, you know, I always feel for them. You know, years ago, before violence was even as bad as it is today, when I would send my kids out the door for school, I used to tell them I love them. Be careful. You know, so I used to want to call a school and say, did they make? You know, but if you get that phone call saying, your child is not in school, you panic first, and then you say, okay, maybe they did. But first you panic, because you please don't let my baby just get to school safe, get an education, make it home safe. It's better, you know, we got to fight stuff. We got to fight going to the grocery store and going to the here or there. Let me just get to school. You know, that's what I used to think, like, and then I try and send them to the best schools. You know, we stay all the way somewhere. My daughter going all the way over there to charter perspective. Baby, I want you to have the best knowledge you can get to. You know, mama got to get broke messing with the kids. That's what mama do. You know, it'll be brighter days. The kids going to grow up, take care of mama, you know. So try to send them to the best schools, give them the best homes, everything.
Yeah,
because
she was a straight A student.
Yeah.
And let me pull up that graduation picture.
That was my
again.
scientist.
I mean, I know that was the picture from the actual obituary, but
yes.
You used it for
that's the actual picture, yes.
And she was graduating coming from 8th grade.
You see, she's all dolled up with a necklace, earrings, got a little hair
totally
in a
different.
wrap. Honey had on a nice little pink dress when we left from that photo shoot. Came home, put on them Timbs, arrow shirt, hat to the back, Timberland boots. I'm gone. Then that's how she wanted to be. She felt more comfortable like that. She just did it for me. You know, and then after she did it for me, I said, all right, I'm going to let you, you know, put my hands up. Go ahead, you know. So I can't say, wait, take that off. No, I used to go buy $200 or $300 worth of Daisy Dukes and little shirts. Never seen there not one pair. And that just went to waste. You know, I could say that for my little baby, but... You know, because that's what I wanted. My girl, that was my first girl. You know, my oldest girl. So that's what I always wanted.
And she was a twin as well.
Yeah,
right?
she has a twin. She has a biological twin that they were in the womb together. Because it's like these stories on the internet and in the paper about this twin. But no, she has a biological twin that she shared a water sack with for 7.5 months inside of me. So yeah, but I just want the best for my kids. Really, for all these kids. Whitney said it a long time ago, the children are our future.
Oh, yeah.
We have to put everything into these kids because they are going to be the ones running this world someday. the next Barack Obama, you know, the Dwayne Wades, whatever. Like I tell my kids, whatever you want to be. You want to be a Lil Wayne, go be a Lil Wayne. You want to be a 2 Chainz, be a 2. Want to be a Barack, a D-Wade, who else? NFL, Michael Strahan, whoever. Jamie Foxx, whoever. Actor T.I., whoever. Do it. Do it. Just be the best at what you do.
Yeah.
You know, don't go out there. I'm running from the bullets. Y'all running up to the bullets. You know, go that way, not that way.
Right.
You know, so I want the best, but I feel like this was a wake-up call, not just for me and my family, but a lot of people that I'm close to, because when it hits home, it really hits home. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I could go on and on and on about some of my closest friends' children gone, already gone, been gone for years, 2 and 3 years. But when you get to that moment where it's your own child, it's a whole nother different feeling. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have sympathy and empathy, but what can you have for yourself? You know, when I'm empty, who's gonna fill me back up? You know, and it's just like, and you're like, and now I'm looking at some of these ladies 2 and 3 years later, like, oh, she's still standing strong. Her baby go, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow, I want to be like them in a couple of years. You know, it's only been a few months, but who's to say this won't break me? But I'm strong enough to say that I'm not going to let it break me. You know, I had a special child. That's why she's internationally known now. And honestly, I think that's the image she wanted to put out there.
So I hear that they was talking about doing a movie. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Ooh, Flip's hair. But I mean, if they doing a movie, I wish they let me know, because I need in on that. All rights. Who gonna play her? Who gonna play me?
They couldn't do nothing without you anyway.
That's what I'm trying to.
So
that's, you know, that's another room I heard. So, you know, I heard it's a movie. I heard it's a autobiography. You know, all this kind of things going on. But
did you get to the point where, after hearing all the stories and stuff, did you get to the point where, because I know when I called for you to come on Full Circle, you, yes, I'll come, you know. And did you get to the point where you just wanted to just start yelling and screaming and why are you all putting all this information out without talking to me?
When I was reading some of those stories, and you know, they always say, like, because Mom said, or Brown said.
Exactly.
No. See,
exactly.
Let me tell this to the world.
Thank you.
Today. Mom, Brown, Chantel never sat down with anybody and gave them an interview regarding my daughter. All of that Brown said and this and that and other may have been something I may have said at the vigil, something they have said over a phone conversation where I may have said something like, because with my daughter in the house, I got control of my house, and I see that was something he put in that article. But see, that's what he heard me saying outside, talking to at the vid, you know, because I'll say a lot of things.
This was in the paper. This was
in the paper 2 months later.
2 months later,
and
right.
I see it, you know, and I'm reading it. Even when the guy put the stuff up on Yahoo about the Chicago teen girl gang lord, you know, I had the guy's number. And I texted him. I said, you know what, I'm fine with your story because you have to do your job. I said, but the title, I don't like that at all. I let him know. Me and him went back and forth texting. I don't like that. You ain't talked to me. You're lying.
Where did he get gang lord from?
That's something they came up with themselves, that title for the story. But everything that he had in his article was either from Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Nothing was concrete, solid. This has been, even in the newspaper article, the guy goes on to reiterate, and on the Yahoo article, the guy goes in to reiterate, oh, but she was never a suspect. She was supposed to be yada, 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 but she was never a suspect. So you're saying all these things about her, and then you're recanting saying, but she was never, you know, because there is no, you know what I'm saying?
What about the nickname, the little Snoop or something? And it was a couple of nicknames. I mean, did you have a nickname for her? Or,
I mean, we'll call her Kyra, Kai. You know, they might have called on the streets K.I. That's short for Kai. That's how you spell her name.
They said it come from some type of, one of the nicknames came
Lil
from.
Snoop, that's a
a gangbanger or something in The
actor
Wire?
off of The Wire.
Okay,
And I guess this actor is like big, bad.
I don't watch it. So
whatever. I ain't watched it in years, so I couldn't even tell you which one was Lil Snoop. But, you know, I guess they started calling her that because, you know, the image she portrayed and how she was carrying herself or whatever. But that just came about within the last few months, that Lil Snoop. You know, so because everybody else was calling her K.I. or Kyra or, you know, I call her Kyra. You know, I might have called her a couple other names too, like over here. But, you know, it's a lot of names they saying now about her, you know. But when she used to be putting that stuff, like she had over maybe almost, probably more now, but last time I checked, like 20,000 Twitter followers. Last time I checked, when everything was still all good.
So who has control of that stuff? I often wonder, isn't it a way that you can just shut all that stuff down?
Yeah, it is a way, but because like with Facebook, after it happened, everybody thought I shut our page down, but I didn't. I guess it was the police, because police are on Facebook,
exactly.
That's where they get all this stuff. Right, that's where they get all this stuff
They
from.
let it go on, they watch it go on until something happened, instead of stopping it before it happened.
They just watch it and let it build up, and then they try and come and say today. But, you know, she had hundreds of pictures, all type of images, money, marijuana, guns, the squad, the crew, trap, whatever, you know, whatever they are, whatever, you know, she want to make it be known. Flick, this what we, you know, this my party, this my team.
So let me ask you, what would you say to other parents that's possibly starting to see this type of activity in their children? What would you tell, what type of advice would you give them to help them maybe chance another life from the streets?
I would say try and get them away from it as best you can. If you can't do it alone, which I know a lot of parents can do it alone, there's a lot of single parents out here, moms and dads, go to a higher power, not just God. Go to the police, go to the youth centers, go to the community centers, go inside the churches and say, hey, y'all got some mentors here who could come over here and talk to my son he on the verge of, or talk to my daughter they on the verge of, because that's what I did, and I stayed doing it. I'm still doing it because I got other teenagers. You know, just don't give up on your child. I never gave up on my daughter. No matter what she was going through or what was going on in them streets, all them rumors and all that stuff, I was hearing about it daily. I was reading about it on Twitter, Facebook. She was back and forth Twitter beefing with somebody. Guys saying they wanted to, you know, do something to her. I'm reading this. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling her, back up away from it. Out of sight, out of mind. Log off, delete it. Log off of it. Let it go. But my baby girl, she ain't thinking about that. You know, she's like,
because
my life.
Like you said, once she go out on the street, it was hard for you to control that situation outside. It was different.
Right, and I can't control nothing over the internet. You know,
exactly.
And I said, even in the streets, I'm limited to what I can control in the streets. You know, as far as my children. You know, now I can, you know, because hey, I'll get locked up beating on man. I don't care. Lock both of us up, because he finna be, you know, beat up and probably need the hospital. And if you got to take me down there, take me too. But it's a lot of stuff that just go on in the streets that's out of everybody's hands. You know, that's when we need the mayor to come in, the community organizations. We even need some of these professional and
I say
people.
Bring the National Guards on in.
I say bring them too. We need them to come in, you know. But when you out here on these streets, you got to do what you got to do to survive.
So, quick, because we came close to the ending, for other parents that has lost their child to the streets, do you have like maybe an email or address or something where they can possibly contact you in case they need someone to talk to that's not able to, you know, handle that situation alone? And it's always good to talk as well.
I do network on Facebook. I'm going to get that Million Mom March started. I'm trying to get something started before the end of the summer to bring national attention to it.
And you have to let me know so we can come out and support you with the cameras.
Yeah, and I do get 2 Fast 7 9 Fox Chicago trips. Sometimes everybody on speed down now.
Okay.
So it's gonna be, you know, it's
how they get with you on Facebook?
I'd rather not give that information out, but I will give them my email address.
Okay. Email address.
They can reach me in email. I check it frequently, 24/7. It's at missbrownshon@hotmail.com. Okay. That's all one word, MSBROWNSHON @hotmail.com.
And again, Chantel lost her daughter to the streets 3 months ago, back in April. And any parent that, because it seems like we study losing our young teens and our children, if it's any parent out that needs, that would like to talk to her, or even get in with the Million Mom March, you can contact her, and you can also hit me on Facebook, and that's Queen K Silvertooth, as well as StarPlanetTV.com. You can always get in touch with Full Circle TV Show. You can even email me at tvshowfullcircle@yahoo.com, as well as QueenStarPlanetTV.com. I have all of these. If you just Google Full Circle TV Show, host Queen, you will find me everywhere.
Hey, thanks. Google me.
Just Google you. I want to thank you so much for taking our time, and I hope you come visit Full Circle again.
I will. I enjoy myself. I will.
And trust me, I'll be praying for you, but you have to let me in on the Million Moms March.
Okay.
I definitely want part of that.
Okay.
All right, I want to thank you again.
Thank you, Queen.
All right, and you all know my motto. Queen is back full force. Check me out next Wednesday. I have Studs for Life coming on next Wednesday. They were on the show not too long ago, and they have did some new things around here in Chicago. So I can't wait to have them on the show next week. You all know my motto. Same time, same place, right here next week. Peace, and we out of here.